So in this unit, we're getting into lines. The first question here says find the slope of a line and interpret the slope. So again, slope is what's described as a rate of change. So a rate of change. Now, remember, a rate is comparing two units. Like for us, a rate of speed is miles per hour. So like if I am driving 35 miles per hour, that means for every 35 miles I travel, it would take 1 hour to do that rate. So that numerator and denominator describe a special relationship. So in lines have what's called a rate of change or what's called slope. So this rate of change or slope, it's going to be defined as the change in y over the change in x. A lot of us have used the phrase rise over run, where rise represents a vertical change and run describes a horizontal change. So again, y is a vertical concept and x is considered a horizontal concept. So we have this vertical change over the horizontal change. So now another thing they sometimes use is the change in y over the change in x. So there's this Greek symbol delta that also stands for the word change. So change in y over the change in x can also be represented by delta y over delta x. So again, we have this vertical change and this horizontal change going on. That's slope. So if we look at how we move from point to point, so if we go from 0, notice the vertical change would be like 1, 2, 3. There's a change of 4 in the vertical. And then in the horizontal change, we're moving 1, 2, 3 to the right. So the vertical change would be a 4. The horizontal change would be a 3. So our slope, by definition, is going to be the vertical change, which is 4, over the horizontal change, which is 3. Now, there's also a slope formula that says to find the slope, which sometimes uses letter M. Now, change represents a subtraction problem. So y2 take away y1 over x2 take away x1. That's how we can actually find the slope if we know 2 points. And they did give us 2 points. They gave us 0, 0, and they gave us this 3, 4. So 0, 0 would be considered 0.1. In other words, this is x1, y1. And 3, 4 would be second point, or x2, y2. So these subscripts, if you will, subscripts are not operations. They're just trying to distinguish between 0.1 and 0.2. So notice if it says y2 take away y1, that would be 4 minus 0. That actually calculate our change if we're doing it mathematically. And then x2 take away x1 would be 3 minus 0. And that would also give us this 4 over 3. So you can do it mathematically using a formula, or you can do it by observation. Your vertical change would be 4 and your horizontal change would be 3. So if I want to interpret the slope, what we're seeing is for every 3 change in the x, the y's are changing by is 4. So we see that. So again, there's this vertical change and this horizontal change, where the vertical change is the y change and the horizontal change is the x change. So if the x's are changing by 3, the change in the y would be 4. So that kind of gives us some thinking going into lines.